All righty. What's going on, everybody?
Hey, hey,
We're back.
we are indeed.
Welcome, welcome. Another issue. Another episode of Wisconsin Foodie Live behind the scenes. We invite our favorite folks from the episode you just watched, or you may be watching in the future, to chit chat a little bit about what's going on, what they thought of the episode, and what their what the different things that they're doing in their restaurants or bakeries or whatnot. So, Luke, what's going on with you, man? How you doing?
Well, I'm a little, I would say I'm strikes and gutters if we're going to put it into bowling references. One of my off-season gigs is coaching strength and training and freshman basketball at Viroqua area schools. And tonight, you can see behind me, I'm actually on the road. We had a road game in Black River Falls that just finished up. And unfortunately, we lost. We were ahead at halftime. We scored like 28 points in the first half, and then we scored 10 points in the second. And unfortunately, that's a recipe that even a chef like myself can follow for disaster. So the boys gave it everything they had, and at that point, it's just a matter of being positivity or maintaining positivity and trying to get good life lessons out of it. But unfortunately, yeah. So Black River Falls High School, home of the Tigers.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for doing this. Appreciate. I love seeing wherever you land each week. It's become part of the show. I think you're gonna have to continue that and surprise everybody with a new spot next week.
I love it.
All right, so this week, Punchki. Reflect. Go back on that episode. Can you? It was a while ago, right? I mean, this particular segment was shot almost probably a year ago, mm-hmm. And I can remember I personally shot a big portion of the show solo because it was a snow. I can remember it was like a snowstorm. It was COVID, and typically it's a day that's just the bakeries are jam packed with people. There is lines like throughout the day, and this is a segment that I've been wanting to do for quite a while, and this was going to be the year. I was like, this is the year. I'm going to pick up my camera. I'm going to go early morning, like before everybody gets there. And, it just so happened that it was the folks at National Bakery were trying their best. They implemented a drive-through situation. They were trying to do everything to get people to come out and engage them and sell punchkis, the 40,000 punchkis that they make. And it turned out to be like a blizzard that morning. It was rough conditions, and I was flying solo with a camera. And so if you guys are all thinking like, why was the camera work so bad in that episode? It was all me.
Nobody thinks that. I promise. If you can make me look good, you can make anybody look good.
Yeah, well, I loved it. They're so gracious to let us come in there, especially during COVID, and they're one of their biggest days of the year.
Yeah,
they've got so much history, tradition. Jeff and Bryant are just fantastic humans. They were like so giving. Even though it was their biggest day of the year, anything I wanted or needed, they would just stop what they were doing and help me. So really love that. Really appreciate them, and I know like the timing of these episodes are great because Punchki Day is coming up here in the next couple of weeks. And I just love how these episodes so far this year are kind of like fitting into the schedule where it's, people are able to watch the show and then they'll be able to go to National Bakery and get themselves a box full of punchkis in the next couple of weeks. So,
yeah, that's
hey. Before we invite our friend Bryant, one of the owners of National Bakery, what's your favorite punchki? What was your favorite punchki from that episode?
The prune. I mean, like, without a doubt, that whole experience for me, I think from a chef or a technician's point of view, first and foremost, I want to say that I was surprised at how soft and pliable that dough was. Usually a donut dough, there's a little bit of push and give to it. But because this one was made with butter, it really does have a delicate feel, almost, I mean, like you would consider a fine pastry. So when I'm handling it for the first part of the episode, like rolling it out, weighing it, getting kind of the feel of it on the table, it was very soft, very malleable, which I thought was really interesting. Secondarily, like anytime you see an operation, I'm going to quote The Simpsons here. I don't know if any of you remember when Krusty the Clown got an Army regulation deep fryer. And he's like, I can flash fry a buffalo in 10 minutes. But like when you see all these donuts lined up on racks and they drop in and you're like, oh, that makes sense. That's how that works. Pulling that out in a massive batch and then doing all that glazing. I got to say, like, that for me is the most satisfying part. The part that I don't like about it is waiting for the punchki to cool so that glaze sticks to it. Like, I want the glaze on there and I want to eat it hot right away. But then when you get to that prune filling, like prune, and I say this all the time, and I think it's maybe as I age, and you know, maybe this makes me ageist in this, but like as I get older, I like these different culinary applications with prune. It's a really complex dried fruit. I mean, you get all those sweet notes of the plums, but then you get a lot of that earthiness that comes in that stone fruit naturally. And that prune filling, I was surprised at how sweet that was, but then it had that, you know, kind of umami feel to it, which I thought was incredible. So for all of y'all who have never tried a prune-filled punchki or a prune-filled donut, like, I think you're missing out. And it feels like there's something like special and a little bit old world about it that makes it worth trying in its most authentic state.
Yeah, so it turns out we like prunes as infants, and we like prunes as we age in life.
Right.
It all comes full circle. Prunes bring us full circle here. One of my favorite lines on that show was, enough of me talking. Let's introduce our guest here, Bryant Krause, the co-owner of National Bakery. Welcome, Bryant. How you doing?
Hey guys, how are you?
Good. Hey, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks. It's great. Thank you.
Hey, did you get a chance to watch this segment? I know you're in Milwaukee.
I did.
It doesn't air.
I did.
Good.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, that's good. Hopefully we did justice to the National Bakery.
Yeah, you know, I love that these guys work so hard in the back, and sometimes I feel like they, you know, we can talk about it, but when you guys put on camera the way that you did, I mean, you made Gonzalo, our main baker, look like a rock star, and he is. But he deserves every bit of that because he really, he puts in so many hours here, and there's so much passion behind all the work he does, and including the rest of our staff too. And I thought it really showed the way you guys, you know, did this episode. So thank you to you guys for doing it that way. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Now, if I remember correctly, so I had come in for Punchki Day around this time last year, but we filmed the rest of that episode in summer. Was that right? In May. That's right. So it was all little pieced together. You know, and that's typically how the show works is you know, things look like a continual kind of stream, but a lot of the times things are segmented and we're shot at different times of the year. Sometimes we'll go back a year later and end up shooting little bits and pieces that we need to fill the show in. It's just, you know, how television works. So
yeah.
So where are you guys at? So when's Punchki Day this year? And how are
2 weeks. Looking? Yeah, it's coming up. It's March 1st. It moves every year. It's always 6 weeks before Easter. So this year it falls on March 1st. That's a Tuesday, of course. We're totally excited about it. Orders are way up. Last year was the first year. I know we're a little late to the game here, but we started online ordering, and we came up with a nice system where we offer punchki packs where there's a certain amount of raspberry, certain amount of prune, certain amount of raisin maybe in each one, and people get to choose. And it makes it easier for us to get them packed and ready for everybody to go to if they want those packs. So orders are way up with the online ordering. They started last year, like I said, and this year it's already well ahead of last year. So there will not be a snowstorm this year, and we expect there to be a lot more energy and excitement around the day as there usually is.
So I gotta ask.
You just said it. I can't believe you just said that, Brian. You just we are getting the biggest snowstorm.
No, there won't. No.
Famous last words. But I want to ask Bryant, you know, as a chef, I know that like when you talk about doing 40,000 or 45,000 of anything, there's a fair amount of ramp up. You know, there's planning, there's like articulation of ingredients, allocating all that in. What does it look like for you guys now, like 2 weeks out?
Yeah, and this year was actually more stressful with the planning part than years past because of, if you don't know yet, there's been a shortage on a lot of the supplies. And I was worried to death up until about a week or two ago that I wasn't going to be able to get prune. And because what a lot of the suppliers did is they cut to 25% of the things that they weren't selling the most. So some of the filling companies that we work with, they weren't making filling. I wasn't able to get it for the past, around Christmas time and stuff. And we're finally just able to get it in again. So all of that is coming through, and we always order this stuff, months and months in advance of the day. And just knowing that there's a supply chain shortage, I was nervous that it was going to be maybe a bit of a challenge. And thankfully, all of our product, we have a great supplier. We work with a co-op up in Appleton, Valley Bakers Cooperative Association mostly, and they've gotten most of our ingredients for us already. So we feel good about that. So to answer your question about that aspect, was very stressful for us. The other part, so some of the things we can work ahead on, aside from getting the ingredients ready. So we also make king cakes, and it's like a Danish dough. So we can start getting some of that dough ready in advance and keep it in our freezer and stuff. So there's a few ways that we can cheat on this to stay ahead of it. So there's not as big of a load per se. I mean, there's a huge load, of course, coming up to it. But there's a few things that we can do to cheat along the way like that.
Mm-hmm. So I have a question about the Polish community in Milwaukee, because for a long time, it was the second largest ethnic community in the city. I mean, it has such an established presence there. And I mean, outside of displacing the native people that originally inhabited the area, there was just a strong German and Polish presence. How much does the ethnic community interact with the punchki from National Bakery? Do you get feedback that they are the best in the city and it's the tried and true punchki?
We do, and I'll add to that saying that this day, so my partner Jeff Callan and I have owned this for going on 14 years now. We have seen this holiday, if you want to call it, it's sort of like a made-up holiday. It's taken on a life of its own. So it's expanded well beyond just the Polish community, and so many other people just want to be part of it. Yeah. We do the, we have T-shirts. Our staff has T-shirts. We have music come in, so we have an accordion player come in. We literally see people dancing in the store who maybe are or not Polish, who knows? But it has taken on a huge. It's bigger than just the Polish community. I mean, it's all of Milwaukee and the surrounding areas too. It's really fun, and even in different states, when you look at the different, there's certainly different states that are heavier than others. And look at this guy. This guy just came into work already.
Hey,
that's Gonzalo. He's here to work already.
Bring Gonzalo over here. Can you bring Gonzalo over here for a second?
I want to talk to you. It's a guy from. So he can't hear. Here, let me see if here. Fine.
Gonzalo, hey, what's up?
Can you hear us, Gonzalo?
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
Hey. Good
now,
to
have
see
you
you.
gotten a chance to see yourself on television yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh boy. Hey, after tonight,
I'll make sure he gets the link right away.
Everything changes for you after tonight, okay?
Okay. Including my boss.
Yeah. Gonzalo, you've got leverage now. That's what that's called, leverage, brother.
Okay. All right. Nice to see you.
Good to see you, man. Have a good shift.
So for the folks that are watching, I'd love to know what your favorite style of punchki is. And I think everybody here, everybody I've heard from is a prune lover. But do people what are some of your other favorite styles of punchki? And you could drop those in the comments. I'd love to hear from everybody.
Brian,
I'm sorry. I was plugging. Oh,
I was gonna say, what's your favorite punchki, Brian?
I like them all. I think the raisin, and maybe the raisin because we don't have it year round. The raisin's a really interesting, good donut, but the glazed raspberry is hard to beat. And by numbers, I probably shouldn't be saying this on live TV, but the prune is popular and most as traditional it is not as popular as the raspberry. I'm sorry to say.
Oh, man.
We'll make whatever they want, but the people want the raspberry more than the prune. That's just the way it is. But I think the glazed raspberry is pretty good. But I'm really good with all of them. But you can't go wrong with any of them on Punchki Day, really.
So what I want to say is this. for any of you who are even remotely close to Milwaukee, remotely, like it could be an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. I know some people will drive that far for a good food experience. Go online, find the National Bakery, put in your online order, and order up these prunes, because I'm telling you, don't sleep on the prune. It's literally one of the most underrated, savory, sweet ingredients that we have going on here. And I think it's an authentic representation of like old school Polish culture that we don't want the glazed raspberry taken over. I mean, come on. This is a tradition. Get up in it.
You know, I think, you know, like raspberry is the gateway though, Luke. You know, you got to get somebody, you got to get people in the door somehow. And if they like the raspberry, you got to give them the raspberry. But when they're there, now they're going to try the prune or the raisin. I do like the raisin though. I got to say the raisin's my jam. Love the prune.
No
love
pun
the
intended.
Do you see any, Bryant, do you see any regulars that are there like every single Punchki day since you've been at the bakery?
Yeah, absolutely. There's one guy, Ken Lovis. He's got to be first or top 3 in line every year. I mean, he's always waiting for the doors to open up, and there's definitely a lot of people. And you know, last year, you know, quite honestly, we missed it, but there's a lot of corporations out there that'll come to us that, you know, they patron us throughout the year, and they would come to us and literally get 20, 30, 60, even 80 dozen of these punchkis and give them to their workforce and stuff. And then, you know, with COVID, that kind of dampened things down a little bit, unfortunately. So the energy that goes behind this day, so that, and I'm just speaking candidly, it's sort of disheartening, you know, when that happens, because our staff, we don't have to give them a rah-rah talk. Like, they know this is like our Super Bowl. It really is. Like, this is the day. Christmas is huge. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's you know, all the holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, and all those, they're huge. But there's something about Punchki Day where everybody knows it's like all the attention is on us, and they want to be there. Like, we get people that have left us for higher professional careers, you know, years and years ago, maybe kids or whatever, and they want to come back and help us. There's just so much just love, and people want to see the city shine with it. I mean, it's really cool. So we absolutely love it, and people get excited for the day. So it's just a big undertaking for everybody, but it's a blast. We love it.
That's fair. And so where can people find you on? I'm sure you're on Facebook. You're online. Where can people find more information about the National Bakery? Yeah,
so we did just start our online ordering, like I said, last year, and we do have that available. But nationalbakery.com is our website, and we're also on Facebook at National Bakery and Deli. So we can be found there, and if you hit the Shop Now button, that'll take you to the shopping cart where you're able to go ahead and you know, put an order in. And you know, there's everything else. You know, people know us for Punchki Day, but we have so many other cool things and we're still a mostly all scratch bakery that we do here. So there's not a lot. You guys were in here, you saw what we do. I mean, all the stuff is made you know, with our hands, and it's cool. There's not a lot of this anymore. You probably know if you go to a grocery store or something nowadays, I think there's probably 2 major manufacturers that are making the donuts that they're all buying from. So you're getting a lot of the same if you go to a grocery store. So small local businesses and bakeries, of course, I'm biased towards us, but support the small local bakeries. I mean, it is, there's so much pride in there, and these guys love it. When people come in the door, their faces light up. I mean, these guys don't want to see us with punchkis left over from a snowstorm. They want to see us sell out, and they want to say, oh, we're going to get it next year or whatever. So there's just so much pride. I mean, I love it. I love every bit of it.
That's just, I mean, it gives me the goosebumps just thinking about it. And I, you know, we really appreciate what you do. That's why we stop by. That's why we're trying to tell everybody to go to the National Bakery. And what's so cool this year is it's not going to be like last year. This year, the doors are open. You know, we're hoping to get lines throughout the day. There's not going to be a snowstorm whatsoever. And we really hope you guys just sell out within before lunchtime. 40,000 bunchies out the door, so our hats are off to you and to Gonzalo and to your business partner and to all the folks that were there that day. Everybody was just incredible to work with. And that really is attributed to the leadership at the bakery. So it just speaks volumes to how you guys run the place, and couldn't say enough about it. So everybody that's watching right now, make sure you put it on your calendar. March 1st, Punchki Day, the National Bakery. Show up, buy yourself a box of punchkis, give them to your friends, give them to your neighbors. Your dog might even like one too.
Give them to your friends' neighbors.
Give them to your friends' neighbors as well. Yeah, exactly. And don't sleep on the king cake. There's not. It's one of my favorite things because you can find a plastic little baby in there, and that's so much fun, right?
Yeah, if you're gonna chip a tooth, why not chip it for good luck? Honestly.
Brian, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I know, so Luke just coached a basketball game. You've got to go to a hockey game. Food and sports, that's life. All right, bud.
Hey,
thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. You did a great job. We appreciate you guys coming here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bud. Cool. So next up, we've got our friend Christoph. I don't know if you follow Christoph on Facebook, but that man, I think, has traveled the world and back again like 3 times since we've done our episode with him. He's a new man. He's a changed man. Looking forward to seeing what seeing what he's got in store. So let's click Christoph in from. This is quite literally the Prince of Pierogi, Christoph.
Yeah, Christoph.
Hey, what's up, Christoph?
Living the dream. How are you, fellas?
Oh man, so good. I'm living the dream through you, my friend. So tell us about your travels before we get into the pierogi business.
Oh yeah, so I've had a fantastic time traveling. I decided to take a break after 3 years, basically, of hard work and your role of being a small business owner. I went back home to Poland to visit my relatives, family, friends, and then I also decided to cross off a couple countries off my bucket list. I visited Portugal, Spain, Canary Islands, Ireland. I went to Dubai and Mexico. Yeah.
Wow.
Costa Rica. I may see Peru this winter as well.
Unbelievable, my friend.
Get it.
I'm trying to get it in, so then I have no excuses to work hard for 7 months when my season comes. Because this is the inspiration I get in the off season.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be a really busy season coming up for you here. So you better get it all out of your system now.
Yeah,
but quite literally, I think with a lot of the people we meet, I think we meet a lot of hard workers on this show. I mean, that just goes with kind of goes with the stories we tell in the territory. A lot of people that are just dedicated, but Christoph is just an extremely hardworking, dedicated person. Just building that shop out and everything that he's done from the ground up. Everything is also the same with, from the punchkis that we just heard about to the pierogis, everything is handmade, and it takes so much work. How many pierogis, I forget, what we talked about in the show, but how many pierogis are you guys going through on a weekly basis up there making by hand?
Oh, that's in thousands. I cannot give you the exact, but I can tell you that before I opened the restaurant, in May 2020, first year when I was open for business, I had about 1,600 pierogis made, and I sold out within 3-4 hours. Never expected that kind of explosion right off the bat. So next year, I made almost 20 times more and made over 20,000 dumplings before I even opened the door.
Wow.
I'm getting hungry here. So kind of some of the unfortunate, parts of the show is when we film people that are kind of off season or seasonal, and folks can't get a pierogi or a cabbage roll right away. I know we talked in the season that, maybe we could try to do something. Have you put some thought into doing any frozen pierogis? And if so, how can people find those pierogis?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. I managed to do that once already this winter. In January, I've decided to take orders for frozen pierogies and deliver everywhere in Door County, Kewaunee County, all the way to Fox Valley, Appleton, and then deliver them all myself. Now I'm doing it again today, starting today, trying to gain some momentum after being on your show. And so people can order through princeofpierogi.com. They can go on Facebook, Prince of Pierogi Restaurant, Instagram, or email me, call me. I'm very responsive. I'm sort of a business owner where the business line is my cell phone, and I manage all of the social media and the website. So you're always going to get through to me in the end of the day.
Well, let's set up. I didn't hear Milwaukee in there, so let's set up a Milwaukee stop, and I'll come to the truck with you, and we can slang. We'll pull up somewhere, and we'll slang pierogi out of the back of a truck. I think we can make it a success for you.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this time I started to work with Door County Courier that is willing to help me with statewide distribution. So this time, take orders for the next 10 days until February 20th. And we will deliver to every zip code in Wisconsin. So everyone, Wisconsin resident, is covered. And you are likely to see me, the owner, pull up in my sedan with my car magnets, with the restaurant's logo, deliver your pierogies personally to you. That's how small business, us business gets.
That's fantastic. Now, what are the chances this episode makes it to Poland? Are you going to share it with some of your Polish friends and family? And you think we can get some traction with this in Poland? Maybe some new fans, Polish fans?
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the things I'm hoping for. I have a lot of support from my friends and family in Poland, even strangers. I'd love to hire some more Polish people to work at my shop. So far, I only have one person. But just like you said, if you watch your audience, you can see their location, and there are quite a few Poles following me from back home.
That's awesome. I have to say, we did a Serbian episode a couple of years ago, and it just blew up in Serbia. So I'm like the Guy Fieri of Serbia, and I've never been. I mean, I feel like if we can do this in Poland too, like we can make a whole tour out of this, Arthur. We take Christoph back home. We walk through it. It'd be amazing.
We got to start thinking about Spain and Portugal, maybe France, Italy.
All those
goes on the road. How about that? For one season, we'll just go to Europe, and we'll travel Europe eating and trying to meet Wisconsin people abroad. That'll be the goal. Can we find people in Wisconsin? And how many different countries can we find Wisconsinites? Believe me, they're everywhere out there.
Overseas, I saw people wearing Green Bay Packers,
of course,
jerseys and hats and backpacks, everything, and that would be a very easy icebreaker for me to approach them and talk about it. And you two are like Martin Scorsese and Brad Pitt of my eyes, so that's what I tell my friends back home in order to encourage them to.
If I'm Scorsese and he's Brad Pitt, who are you in this?
I don't know. Who's the famous Polish actor? Hard to tell.
I think of that guy. No, I'm on the spot here. I can't think of it. There's a lot of good ones.
You went to film school. Come on, brother.
I know. It's been a while though. It was like 40 years ago.
Christoph, who's your favorite Polish actor?
That would be Cezary Pazura. He's a comedian.
Cezary Pazura. Well, you can be Cezary Pazura in this conversation. I'll be Martin Scorsese, and Arthur will be Brad Pitt. Look at his hands.
I thought it was reversed here, my friend. I think you're Brad Pitt, and I'm Martin Scorsese. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm that bad of an actor? Unbelievable. I'm kidding.
So what's going on in Door County right now? I mean, Door County, I don't think it's a secret. I think it's one of our favorite spots to go. Each year, we love going to. We make sure that we go to Door County every year because we just love visiting. We love, there's so many great stories. And I like to think that the amount of energy that we put up there, we're really helping a lot of those young sort of upstart restaurants and businesses sort of succeed and thrive. And even some people start to like think about creating business up there because it can be done. And so it is definitely a personal favorite. I forgot to post it, but part of this episode, we went to this this gas station in Sturgeon Bay, and it is you would never think about it, but when it's what is it,
Canara.
Yes. And in this gas station, they make it's I think it's an Indian couple, and they make these wraps out of rotis. Man, it is such a cool spot. I'm gonna post the video tomorrow. I've got the video done. I'm gonna post it up tomorrow. People can watch it. Canary. It is, man, it's out of this world. Really great stuff.
Yeah, don't sleep on that. And it was one of those things that we kind of happened upon over years of just like hearing a little bit about it, whispers. And those are the things I do want to say this right now. I want to make an impassioned plea to anybody watching at home. If you know of these small businesses that are kind of, doing something to the beat of their own drum, so to speak, those are the stories that we love to dig into and vet a little bit, because, oh my gosh, to be able to like drive up to the door, stop in Sturgeon Bay at a gas station, get some crazy good Indian food, make your way up to Ephraim, stop, get a cabbage roll, get some pierogi, make your way all the way up to the tip of the door, get yourself some Wickman House, whatever that looks like, Trixie's, all these places that really, really, really tell the Wisconsin experience through this lens of cultural opportunity and change and growth and how we flex. And I love that. And Christoph, that's one of my favorite pieces of your story. You're like one of the hardest working dudes I've ever met. And I think like all of your travels, all of your world experience, it's so deserved, man. You dig in and you grind all summer long. What do you got on tap this year? Are you gonna try and work a little less, or are you gonna try and like hire some more people, or what's on the docket for you?
Yeah, so following up on Arthur's question first and his remarks about Wisconsin Foodie propelling businesses, small businesses, helping them thrive, I just give you a fun example. My website server blew up due to capacity reasons during the episode, and then my phone kept ringing throughout the whole show the entire time. I had to tell people that I'll call them back later. I also went to this Indian operated gas station to try their food, and I would have never done it if it wasn't for you two. So I definitely think you're doing a great job helping out small businesses, and I'm very honored that you picked mine to be a part of your show. Coming back to your question, look, regarding my plans for next season, I would definitely like to have some more time off for myself. I'd like to do a better job as far as my personal time management. I'd like to this winter just figure out the better system, keep improving the business, automate and streamline processes to have my employees know exactly what they're doing. And I have to tell you, year one and year two, there was a huge difference, big improvement in quality. I'm fortunate enough to have my staff come back for the third year in a row. So some people were there for me since day one. We're all treat each other like a family. We're having a great time. And we're really obsessed with customer experience. Everything we do going forward, we're always look at it from the perspective of how it's going to affect our customers and how it's going to make them even happier. So personally, I'm taking this time off in the winter to focus, rewrite the business plan for next year, just to do a better job in serving our customers, but also trying to open up some of my own time for other tasks.
Oh man, that's so important.
Yeah. Christoph, can I ask you on camera, how old are you?
I'm 31 now.
31.
So
that's insane.
Based off of this, we've got a really fun sports kind of theme going on here, right? So Bryant was going to watch his son. His son plays for a local hockey team, WNS, here in Milwaukee. Luke just got done coaching a basketball game. And Christoph, I don't think it made the show, but I was really intrigued by your story, your background. Can you tell people that are watching right now kind of what your background is with sports?
Yes. So when I was 6 years old, my dad signed me up for a soccer academy, one of the biggest soccer academies in Poland. They noticed that my parents noticed that I have a natural talent for soccer while playing out with my friends outside of my apartment building, and then I grew up playing soccer on junior level in Poland. Even made it to a League 3 in Poland. I was assigned a professional contract when I was 18. I played for Walka Zabrze, which is a third division in Poland. And then at the age of 20, I tore my ACL, unfortunately. I was trying to come back from that injury, and I tore my ACL again. I used to be into a lot of sports. I used to play tennis recreationally. I used to downhill ski a lot. And I used to have this mentality that I'm invincible and nothing can ever happen to me as far as injuries until the day when my knee popped. However, I look at it as a great opportunity to explore other interests of mine, and that made me interested in coming to the United States as a foreign exchange student. And I came back 3 years in a row, and then I decided to make Door County my permanent residence. So if it wasn't for that injury, I would never be here speaking to you right now. So I'm kind of happy it happened, and my knee's been fully reconstructed. So I play sports now, and I'm an active person. However, I never had the courage to downhill ski or play soccer ever since.
Wow. What a story. I mean, it's just unbelievable how things like that change your life. And I'm sure in the moment you felt like that was just your life was over. Little did you know that your life was just beginning and this whole new thing was happening. And what you've been able to do since that, it just speaks so much to your character of who you are, So, I probably could have seen you on the Olympics if you would have kept on playing sports, but you're making pierogies and cabbage rolls and doing some really cool stuff in Door County. And that to me is man, it's just as cool because everybody needs a good treat. Everybody needs a good meal. You're warming a lot of souls out there.
If you don't mind, I want to follow up on the conversation you had with Bryant. When he mentioned prune pączki, that really rang a bell. I had the same sort of dilemma making prune pierogies. And I had the most traditional dessert pierogi in Poland. I kid you not. We must be crazy about prunes in Poland. And the reason why I did not make it feature my menu is because I thought that a local audience here, unfortunately, I don't get as many Polish people at my restaurant as I would like to, although I see them every day pretty much in season. I thought that the local public would not really be into prunes as much, so I went with blueberries and Door County cherries. But having heard of how you pumped up the prune pączkis, that made me think it, because I am trying to introduce some new flavors of pierogies for this season, and it just sounded like a great thing to do.
Go for it, man. I mean,
you let us know when you do that, and we'll promote it on Instagram, and we'll make sure that people go out there and try those prune pierogies. We'll come up there ourselves. It'll be Luke Zomday at the Prince of Pierogi.
Great.
That would be great. It's the best parts of running this business is recognizing faces and names, and getting all that support from people online, like you were saying about Wisconsin Foodie, when you get 99% positive feedback. And of course, you can never make everyone happy, but seeing people at the window ordering food from you, saying hello, knowing you by your first name, that's really what makes me want to get out of bed every day and just try to do as good of a job as I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, those connections are so important. People knowing your story is so important. And for folks like you, there's not a lot of time for marketing when you are putting so much of your energy into doing what you do, so much energy into making your food and those pierogies. there's not a ton of time to market what you're doing, to get on Facebook. I mean, it's, so that's kind of what we like to step in there and fill that void and help people tell those stories, to make those connections, so people know who you are and to make you really the celebrity. That's the goal, is people know your story and feel like they know you personally when they come to Prince of Pierogi. And that's really our goal with the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. You're definitely helping me out a lot. And another thing about the marketing I like to say is that the best marketing you can have is a happy customer with a big mouth.
Yep.
Yeah, and I certainly am that. I was a very happy customer, huge mouth. So kudos
Awesome.
to you, sir.
Okay, so people, Christoph, so people can, if they want some pierogies right now, ordering is open, so people can go to your website once it's not crashed, and they can go to your Facebook page and they can find the pierogi there. We will see if I can convince you to come down to Milwaukee to do a special pierogi delivery down here. And anything else that you'd like to share with the folks on Facebook here?
Nothing comes to mind. We've covered everything, but yet again, you're welcome to order some pierogies right now through any channel that is preferable. And I may even personally make a trip to Milwaukee. I really want to visit the National Bakery now after watching the episode. So I'm hoping to see you guys soon.
Awesome. Christoph, well, we will definitely be in Door County, I'm sure, this summer, and we will make sure to stop by and hang out and eat some pierogies. I look forward to it.
That would be awesome. And look, I'm gonna make it my winter destination this year is to visit Driftless Cafe.
Come and see us. Come and see us. We love to have you. I can't promise that there will be too much prune on the menu, but you never know. If I know that Christoph Delonge is coming across the state, we'll work something in, man.
Right on.
Awesome. Keep killing it, Christoph. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, Christoph. Appreciate it. See you soon. Well, that was cool. Christoph's a great guy. Love Christoph.
Totally. I got to say, I think, honestly, when we go through, and for those of you who are following along, this is the time of year where we get really focused on producing the next season of Wisconsin Foodie. So we're always a step ahead. And one of the things that I loved about this particular episode was, a lot of times when I talk to people outside of the Midwest and we make a food show about Wisconsin food and culture, and they're like, what Wisconsin food and culture? On the surface, it all looks homogenous and like it's a monoculture. But my anecdotal saying to that is you got to look between the lines sometimes. People like Christoph exist in small communities in every town, in every county, in every corner of our state. There's someone there putting out food with their whole heart and really, really working it because it's part of keeping their cultural tradition alive. If it's the indigenous food movement, if it's a lot of the Hmong producers, if it's some of the restaurants in the Fox River Valley or the Soul Food on the north side of Milwaukee, there are people literally living that truth every day. And I gotta say, it's our job as consumers and as media people to lift those people up and show people that it's not just a monoculture here. You may have to look a little harder, but it's definitely there.
Yeah, well said, man. Seriously. And, it gives me a little anxiety that we're missing people too, so I think, we rely on you guys, our viewers. You're such a big part of our research and development. We probably get thousands of requests, monthly, yearly, whatever it is. We get so many good ideas, and, some of them stick, some of them don't, but they come in, they all come into us, and we all consider all of these different stories.
Yeah.
We always try to figure out a theme, for Wisconsin Foodie. When we're brainstorming the new season, we have to think about diversity, geographic diversity, cultural diversity. These are big things that we're thinking about. We want to represent the people of Wisconsin, and the people of Wisconsin are very, very diverse. And that's not something that's always represented, on television or stories. And we want to make sure we get it right. Like the Hmong people of central Wisconsin, and, so many great things happening. And I don't want to just isolate the Hmong people, but there's just so many different cultures here that people aren't aware of that are contributing so greatly to our food culture and economy. And we just want to do everybody, a service and make sure that we're searching high and low for all those amazing stories so we can bring them to you guys, so you go out there and you experience what we've experienced. I think it's really important. But I think with that said, now is the time. If you guys have ideas for us, Luke and I are talking on a weekly basis about places that we're going to visit this year and areas. Sometimes we just isolate an area that we haven't been to for a long time, and we say, look, we got to go to this area of Wisconsin. And for me being in Milwaukee, most of the crew is in Milwaukee, Luke being in Viroqua, it's not easy for us to get to Bayfield all the time. It's not easy for us to get to these places all the time. So we really have to make a trip out of it. If you've ever seen the van cruising down the highways of Wisconsin, we literally go to a place and stay there for a week and sleep in a van and tents, and we camp out and we do what we need to do and we leave. So it can be challenging for us to get to certain spots of Wisconsin, but by any means, if you've got ideas for us, please send them right now. Send them to us. Email them through the website, through Facebook. All that stuff gets to us, and we take it all to heart.
Yeah. And that being said, sometimes I do want to say out loud, it takes years sometimes to cull and vet and group these shoots together so we can do it in a way, because we are supported by our sponsors. We are supported by friends of PBS, and your individual contributions to those places and looking for them in the stores really do help us make our pitch that we are trying to highlight and spotlight people who are worth seeking out. Because there's so much cultural storytelling that has to be done here. So we break down this idea that we're a monoculture of just European immigrants, because we're not. We are not. That being said, next week's episode, I got to say, so today, this is how you know, Arthur, we're getting big time. Today, I got added to a billing with next week's episode. Can I spoil it? Can I say what we're going to go see?
Hey, well, let's play the episode. Let me play the episode, and then we can talk about it. How about that?
Okay, here we go.
All right, so for you folks that are still with us, here's a preview of next week's Wisconsin Foodie.
Week on Wisconsin Foodie.
I feel so lucky to be out here with you, to have you show me the secrets of catching monster bluegill that Mirror Lake is known for.
Yeah, monster is maybe stretching it just a little bit, but one of the things I like about my job is the opportunity to get people out and give them the chance to experience some of these properties and some of these opportunities that are on, just the phenomenal public land that we have in the state of Wisconsin.
Some days, I have to pinch myself. Aldo Leopold, in this shack, created a Sand County Almanac, a book that has influenced generations in the conservation movement. I have the honor and privilege of putting together the Leopold cornbread. I can't think of a better way to spend a summer evening than in front of Leopold's shack, putting together a family recipe of cornbread and treating ourselves to some bluegill that were harvested from these waters behind us. This is a dinner that Leopold himself would have been proud of.
There you have it. Aldo Leopold. I know this is a big one for you, Luke.
Yeah. So today, the Aldo Leopold Foundation, which is going to have its Leopold Week, is coming up. I think it's the first week, maybe the second week of March. So this is all the timing is working out right. But they have a panel of speakers. I'm one of the speakers, but one of the other ones is Nick Offerman, Ron Swanson. Right?
Oh my God.
So it's like, he's the first billing and I get to be the second one. Like, how awesome is that? But man, I'm even more excited that this is part of the conservation, storytelling that's Wisconsin's history, right? We were known as environmentally a progressive state for a long, long time. And, I don't want to cast disparagements because this isn't a political forum, but man, oh man, does it feel good to tap some of those lifelines? And Aldo Leopold, professor at UW, was definitely one of those conservation forefathers that really made environmental sustainability, conservation accessible to a lot of people. You know, I don't think that any of those ideas, like specifically in the native traditions, like these ideas have been around for a long time. This idea of the round river and how we're all connected and all this biotic community is interrelated and important. But Leopold really brought that to light for a lot of people. And man, it's just such a special thing to be there in front of his shack, to be hanging out with Ryder, bebopping around the lake on Mirror Lake State Park, catching some teeny tiny bluegill. But then I got to say, one of my favorite spoilers that I'm going to say is that, Arthur, how many times in previous shoots, when you've gone hunting or fishing, have they been successful?
No comment. They're always successful, Luke.
Okay, yeah, they're always successful from a television point of view, sure. But I will say that I had one moment on the Wisconsin River where, like, all of my television hosting, fishing dreams came true. And it was so beautiful, so serendipitous. I have to ask that you guys tune in and check it out, because I'm just over the moon about it. It really felt to me like the universe was pulling it all together.
I mean, these are literally some of our favorite episodes. I mean, we really, I think the group of us as a show, as a crew, love the outdoors. I mean, we love it. It's a huge part of what we do. Like I said, we camp every episode. We go out there. You know, we go out. We're finding somewhere to camp. I mean, when Luke travels the state, he finds a state park, and that's usually where you can. That's kind of a tip for all you fans out there is, you know, if you know we're shooting in an area, Luke's probably sleeping in that state park somewhere, you know. So
it doesn't help that I have like a huge white van. Candy is her name. And it's got like big Wisconsin Foodie on the sides. Like, you really can't miss us. We're like the NASCAR of PBS.
Oh yeah, we'll be in a campsite, and there'll be people walking up left and right. The park ranger, the DNR folks are coming up. I mean, we are that is a huge part of who we are, and that's what we really love to do it. You know, we've been in talks too about trying to do an outdoor show, because there's, you know, just like food in Wisconsin, there's just so many incredible stories with the outdoors here in Wisconsin, and there's so much love and passion for it, and there's a very big need right now to support that. And to tell those stories. I think you can see trends going away from the outdoors in Wisconsin, from hunting, from fishing. And what people don't understand is those hunting and fishing licenses goes back into the conservation of Wisconsin land. And it's really important that we get back out there and hunt and fish. And you know what? Hunting and fishing is the most local food you can get. So I think there's, you know, we love to make those connections. And this episode is not going to disappoint. I mean, we were very successful, and I have to say that, you know, obviously it's not on camera, but I have this fear of ticks. I hate ticks. I hate the idea of ticks. I mean, I've been traveling the Wisconsin, for the last, whatever, my whole life, and
15 years
I haven't gotten a tick. I've been tick free until this shoot. This was like, I was like, I'm not going to get into details, but in the middle of the night,
no. Get into details, because it's
in the middle of the night, I was sitting down somewhere, and I looked down on my leg, and there was just a giant tick hanging off my leg, and I think I almost passed out. I think I was screaming Luke. I think I was running down the street screaming Luke at like 3 a.m. I was like, Luke, help me, because Luke is a master of anything. Like, if you need a tick removed, Luke's got it. He's got the tools. He's got he's just going to calm you, and he's going to get that tick off you. But yeah, man, I think I woke Luke up in the middle of the night. He was able to remove the tick. I'm kind of a baby about it, but man, I hate ticks. I hate the idea of ticks. Man, I don't know why we have ticks. Why do we have ticks? Can we not figure out a way to get rid of ticks?
I think that gets into like the Leopold concept. They have a function. Unfortunately,
I know.
The parasites, they've all got a place in the earth, and like they're good for something. It may not be us, but try not to be human centric here. But my version of the story is I am sleeping, like dead asleep. It is like 3 a.m. It had just been pouring rain. We had gone out to dinner, and it was like, great. Like, okay, we're back in the campsite. Everything's kind of locked in for the night. All of a sudden, bam, 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 bam. Luke, you got to wake up. And so like, I'm like, okay, what is it? Like, what's the worst thing that could happen? We're posted up in the state park. And Arthur has a tick on the inside of his inner thigh. And like, you know, it's cool. I have no reservation about this. Medical procedures are medical procedures, and these are all just bodies. So no big deal here. But like the fear and panic in poor Arthur's voice, it was like one of my own children was upset and needed me to, you know, administer some safety and comfort to him. So of course, like any, you know, resident of southwestern Wisconsin knows, because, you know, Lyme's disease and all that jazz, you put a little tea trail on it, the head retreats, I take the tweezers, I pull it out, and like the look of instant relief and gratitude on Arthur's face was priceless. I went back to sleep, slept like a baby, knowing that I had in some ways saved his life.
I'll never forget that, Luke. I'll always be indebted to you. Anything you need, man. You wake me up at 3 a.m. I'll help you with something. You know,
awesome.
really
as long as it's
anything,
you know, like bail money or something, whatever.
Awesome, buddy. Well, this is exciting. I can't wait to. Next week is going to be a lot of fun. We've got Buddy. Buddy, his name is Buddy, and he is the executive director of the Aldo Leopold Foundation.
Yep.
Super excited to have him on the show. He's just a world of knowledge, and he's going to tell us all about, because timing is everything for us, right? And we've got Aldo Leopold week is coming up like in the next couple of weeks. So this is just perfect timing again. Can't wait to talk about Leopold. I mean, what a phenomenal, you know, what a phenomenal human. And I can't wait to share his story with Wisconsin, so people can make that connection. And you know, I think it's going to be great. I think people are going to love it. So
I do too.
Awesome, Luke. Well, how far of a drive you got to go? You got to.
It's like an hour and change. It's snowing here pretty good though, so it'll be hairy. I actually, you know, like, I'm not a diva, but I can't ride a school bus at my age. It just makes me so car sick. Like, I just want to hurl. So I drive, I follow the bus. I'm going to go in and catch the end of the varsity game here. Make sure that my team is behaving well, and they're not all like crawling around on Snapchat on their phones, as teenagers are often want to do. So I'm going to go lay down the law. And then we're on the road again.
They're all watching this right now. So
you know, I posted it on my Snapchat story, and they were all pretty excited about it. And then they were actually scared that I wasn't going to come on the road with them tonight. And then they were like, "What are you going to do? What are you going to do?" And so we're at the end of the game, and we're down in the locker room, and you know, it's the time for the coaches to make their kind of grand speech. And I just kept it short tonight. I told them I was proud of them. We got a game tomorrow night again, so we got to let this one slide and reload, and you know, eat some food and get some rest and go to school tomorrow, because, you know, athletics come first, or sorry, not athletics, studies come first, then athletics. So, you know, I think that they were okay, but then I literally had to run up here and find a spot to do this interview. So, I'm always so excited to tune in. I'm so excited to see these people again. It's like a homecoming. It's a reminder of, you know, the summertime we were out shooting, and it's so great to see where everybody is and how they've kind of progressed even in 6-8 months. It's awesome.
Yeah, and to everybody that watches us, thank you guys so much. This is fantastic. This is something Luke and I want to continue doing. And just think, you guys are the early adopters, and we see your names and we appreciate you. Alicia, Cheryl, Mary, all you guys, Dan, you guys are fantastic. Thank you for being with us. We see your comments, and we appreciate you guys for being here. You know, thank you so much for your time. So we will. That's it for us.
Cool.
I'm gonna go play old man basketball. That's my wrap. So I'm gonna go play with a bunch of old guys, and hopefully not injure myself. But till we see each other next week. Next week, Luke and I are doing something. We're going on a fun road trip, a non-foodie related road trip.
That's right.
So the Ursing family is getting a dog, and we have to go down to Kentucky to pick that dog up. So Luke and I in a van, maybe.
That's right.
Are we
Arthur
taking the
gets
van?
a puppy.
Are we taking a van or what?
The van is parked for the winter.
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
we'll take the Scoob.
We'll take the Scooby-Doo. I like it.
Yeah, we got it. All right, everybody. Love you all. We'll see you next week.